The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maddy from Top Rope Squishy, and I'm here to let you know that this Saturday I'm invading the Off the Top Ropes podcast.
Off the ropes be the podcast of mass destruction. Guess who's here for OGs of wrestling? Ain't no competition, we report, you gon' listen. Never no mercy, we bring the ring to the streets. If you don't know, you better find out. Off the ropes, here to prove a point, number one in the league. Bet you don't wanna tussle with us, know where to hide or run. Step in the ring, you're done, you're never stepping out again.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Off the ropes representing that 617 area.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
No other podcast out here more scarier.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Wrestling entertainment news reported by the Bears.
So you're back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body bag.
Took your chances, now it's time to...
So make sure you tune in, because if not, I'ma know.
Hey yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Blackheart, the boss dog, Big Evel, pod boss over here for OTTR. As you already know, if you don't know, now you know. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for just being around. Thank you for just fucking with us, man. We greatly appreciate y'all, man. If you don't know how to find us, I'm going to tell you guys right now. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Anchor. You can find us on Google Podcast. You can find us on Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Audio, Podbean, and once in a while we'll go live on Spotify Green Room as well. So tune in for where we randomly pop up and bless that app. But needless to say, you can also follow us in the Facebook groups, Twitter, and Instagram, Off the Top Ropes Podcast. The key word, folks, is rope with an S, not rope like it's singular. I'm talking about plural, okay? A lot of people get that name confused, and I'm like, no, don't confuse us with another podcast that's out there, Off the Top Ropes or Over the Top Rope Podcast. We are off the top, meaning we're coming off the top of the top and hitting flying elbows to whip your ass with. But needless to say, this is the AfterDark, where we go behind the scenes of the professional independent world of wrestling. But needless to say, these are for the fans, for the interview fans, for the wrestling fans, that as much people as I'm trying to get on the damn show, man, we got some heat coming for y'all the whole month of October. And I might as well just give this a little teaser right now. November 20th, we got El Oso Blanco Bruno, my big bro. My big bro is finally coming back to the podcast, and I'm super fucking happy that he's coming back. So tune in for that, man. We got Layla Gray coming on October 28th. So be forewarned about that. Marsha Slamovich will be on October 15th. So we got some heat coming for y'all, man. We got some heat coming, man. And of course, I got Henny Wrestling, the super fan himself. My dog, Henny Wrestling, he's going to be on in the next couple of weeks on People's Day. I'm not going to say Columbus Day because that's not my holiday. But today's special guest, today. She's just a sweetheart. I met her at Java Slam in Brooklyn, and I mean, I'll let her tell the story herself. But she's just a true, undeniable sweetheart. I kind of gravitated towards her when I was out there, so she made me feel real welcome. Here with us today is none other than a sweet lady, a sweet friend of mine. I met her at Java Slam in Brooklyn last month in July. Give it up for Top Rope Squishy's Maddy. She's in the house with us today. Yay!
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you in Brooklyn. I went there. I was a little nervous because I didn't know who I was going to meet. But you were so nice and friendly too, and you were all like decked out in your gear, merch. Yeah, you got these merch sandals that I absolutely love. Man, everything about you was said. I love wrestling, so yeah, it was nice. It was nice being there. I met cool people there.
Listen, I was a walking brand that day. I was nervous walking into that bitch because number one, I'm from Boston. I'm coming out to New York, a place where, you know, as us Vivid sports fans, Boston and New York, we don't fuck with one another. You know what I mean? So someone would have looked at me like, oh yeah, like you from Boston? Like, nah, fuck this nigga B. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna want to come the fuck back out here no more. So I was scared going out there at first, but now I was like, Yeah, I haven't been out to New York since I was like 16, and I'm 31. So that was my first time going back out to that
15
city
years.
in 15 years. So I was like, oh shit, like damn, my life has changed since I've been out here. And sure enough, it sure did. But
Yes.
needless to say, let's just rewind back to where we first met at Java Slam, man. What was the mind process of you coming from Jersey to New York? Coming to a show, and to me, this was my coming out party. So I don't know if any of the shows that like you probably previously been at, but what was the thought process of you when it came to that Java Slam show, meeting Dirty Heels, meeting the Javateers, meeting myself, meeting
Tantalizing Tony.
yeah, tantalizing Tony. Shout out to Double T, man, because God damn it, man.
The four corners of commentary too were sitting next to us. So yeah,
yes.
Beautiful Black podcasts that are doing their freaking thing out there. It was awesome to me because, you know, in the big scheme of things, most of the time it doesn't really look like us. And so being there, I just felt like I was home. It just felt so good.
Listen, I felt out of place, but then the very moment when I walked in and then I see Tyree Taylor, I was like, yo, that's my boy. I had Tyree on my podcast early on in season 1. So I had already had him on, so we had already been like frequent with each other, like behind the scenes wise. So when I seen that he was gonna be out there, I was like, oh bro, I'm gonna be out there too, like what? So I knew someone that I could be like, okay, point me to this direction here, you to the who to talk to, but this, that, and the third. But then it was Janelle. Mr. Black, and Sir Wilkins, man, of the Javateers.
Sir Wilkins, yes.
Shout out to them, man. I gave all 3 of them T-shirts, man, so they know that they got love from us all the way from Boston to New York. Sir Wilkins, when I just dapped him up and say shook his hand, shit like that, I knew I was gonna be like, okay, I can be here and try to get like a good footage and stuff like that. But so let's go back to the origin of Top Row Squishy, man. So a lot of podcasters have their origins. Of course, our origin was the Elimination Chamber 2020. I was fed up with that pay-per-view. The whole pay-per-view was garbage. It was trash. And I felt I had to say something. And I ran to an app called Anchor on my phone, and I did the first episode just flat out. This was the beginning of the whole pandemic.
Wow.
So the very beginning of the whole pandemic was when I started. I know nothing about podcasting. Nothing. I was brand new. So, and I just cut that bug, and here I am 3.5 seasons later. And, you know, we up to the races, nearly 4K plays all together. We got 150 subscribers on YouTube and shit like that. So I'm just already like, wow, these people really fuck with people's and shit out there. You just gotta just weed them out and find them. So
absolutely.
What was the beginning of Top Row Squishy?
It's a long story, but I'm gonna condense it. So basically the pandemic happens. I grew up watching WWE when it was WWF. I used to watch WCW, but during the time that The Rock was like exiting and all these changes were happening, I lost interest. So I had spent a good 10 years without watching any wrestling, and I mean none. I'm talking about none on TV, no indies, nothing. So yes, and I was going
completely like shut down.
Completely shut down. And it wasn't like one day I woke up and said, I'm never watching this again. It was just kind of periodically I would watch it less. And then I realized I'm just not watching it anymore. And I just never tried it again. A few years ago, I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 years ago, I put like one episode and I was like, I don't know who these people are. And I lost interest again. But then I'm an AEW head, obviously. People who know me know that. I was going through some things in 2019, and you know, my husband had been telling me about AEW. My nephew had been telling me about it, and Chris Statlander happened to be on the show that one night when I happened to just look, and I tuned in, and let me tell you, it did something for me. Just watching wrestling again, it was different. It just drew me in, and I always wanted to be in front of a camera. Like entertainment was something that I always wanted to do. So my husband was like, "Why don't you just start a podcast?" And I'm like, "And do what?" He goes, "Talk about wrestling." And I'm like, really? I can do that? So legitimately just started doing on my phone. And then from there moved because my husband is also a photographer, graphic artist, and he just visually, he doesn't like how certain things look. So he was like, we're not doing that anymore. So we set up like a camera and we got lights everywhere. And then I started doing like predictions standing up. Then he came up with the Squishtradamus character. And, you know, it took me a while. And I said, you know what, in 2021, I'm going to launch a live show, and I started in July 2021, the live show, but I started my my channel, I started it in July 2020, and I have about 300 subscribers already. But within that time, I got introduced to the indies by Trey D. I don't know if people know him, but he's from We Love Wrestling. And that is how I got into the indies. Like, I didn't know about the indies. That's how I got into Thunder Rosa. That's how I got into Masha and all these Trisha Dora and Queen Aminata. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's a whole other world out there. And and I went to Mission Pro in February as a sponsor. And then as you know, we met in July. So it's been a slow intro into the indies for me. But every day I'm getting my feet more wet. So if you ask me about something I don't know, don't kill me. I won't
do that. Cause like the thing for me was I know nothing about podcasting myself, as I said before. And I've always talked wrestling with my friends who were wrestling fans. So we were talking amongst ourselves, and then I was like, yo, what if I just brought some people on the show that has the same energy as me, that can just come in and recap and review the shows and shit like that. That's how we just dove into it, and it grew. It started growing. Then I had one of my other boys from high school reach out to me like, yo, I thought about doing this podcast. I'm like, yo, you're a little bit too late, bro. Like, I already started this thing. You might as well just jump shit over here. And then he jumped in, and then he brought in his cousin, who was also a big wrestling fan. That's Uncle Fats. Wow. So, you know, he brought in his cousin. Then I started weeding out talent. That's how we found Cyber. That's how we found Big Mike. That's how we found the First Lady Shar. Oh, and Shar C. She loves and respects your work. That's our First Lady here for OTTR. I think you probably met her, maybe not. Not telling you too sure, but she loves your stuff, so she just wanted to give her special thanks to that. She told me to tell you that last night when I told her that you was gonna be on.
Oh my God! Thank you.
You have someone here besides myself that fuck with your shit. So I was like, okay, then, like, you know, that means Maddy's actually doing some really good footwork. Like, I gotta respect that, because if someone here knows about these other people before everyone else does, that's just something else. But when it comes to the rest of these people, so when it comes to the rest of these guys in here, they knew nothing about the independents. I did, because here from Boston, you have UFO, you have Top Rope Promotions, and there's a few other promotions that's out there that I was used to going to again. Because after so long, and I ran and I met with the Irish Whip podcast, and come to find out, me and the Irish Whip podcast, we all grew up in the same neighborhood of Southie out here in South Boston. Just three different generations of South Boston residents who just love wrestling. So we just did the episode about that. It's on YouTube, so you might want to just go check it out. We did that a few days ago. So just how everything had built up because of you being as a wrestling fan, but you being as a black wrestling fan, going to these shows where majority of the audience was one nationality, and me, three other black people walks in, and everyone is looking dead at us. Like, what the fuck? Like, wait, who are they? Like, I think they're in the wrong place. I'm like, nah, we in the right place. We paid for our motherfucking tickets. We here to rock tonight. Let's go. We was the life of the party. Any promotion that we go to, we were the life of the fucking party, as people would say. People been hitting me up for the last few weeks. I'm like, yo, you guys, when y'all guys came to that event, y'all brought so much goddamn energy, and we appreciate it. We love y'all for that, man. We fuck with your podcast. I was like, oh shit.
That feels good, right?
Now that's starting to get the fire brain. Because majority of all these designs, the ideas and shit like that, it would be between me, Cyber, and maybe Dukes and a few other people. But 85% of all this shit is me. You know what I'm saying? From the whole format and everything fuck else. I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this goddamn thing. And if you have passion, if you have love for something, you're not looking at it as a job. You're looking at it as a hobby and a special interest in, you know what I'm saying, that you want to propel, that you want to see you succeed.
Correct.
And that's what we bring to the table here for our respectable podcasters. So when I heard that you was invading, I'm like, invading? You
I
make it
just
seem
made
like
it.
it's like some UFO type shit. Like, and it's like, nah, we just get a knock on the door, and it's like, hey, you have a visit today. You have your 11 a.m. appointment. I'm like, oh, top row squishy. Nah, sit in your office. She sits right there in that chair, right in front of the desk. Yo, y'all can go. Go ahead and y'all business. Y'all not back onto tonight's weekly taping, and I won't be around. So y'all best be on your best behavior while I'm away. But I will be back the following week. I will find out what the fuck happens. But yeah, man. So that was just the growth of the nature of us here and being as a black wrestling podcast in Boston out of all fucking places.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm spearheading this goddamn thing. And I think there's no other wrestling podcasts besides the one I named earlier. And that was pretty much just it. And everyone would really be like, "Wow, really?" Like I'm like, "Yeah." And then you know what's funny? Dirty Heels even said to me at first, like, "Damn, I thought we was the only black wrestling podcast that was out there." I'm like, "Nope, we here, baby." And
Oh,
then I
not
found,
at
and then
all.
that's how I found out about Job and Tears. I was like, "Who the fuck are they?" And then these guys, Black Wrestling, and then it was so forth and so forth and so forth. And I was like, "God
Yes.
damn it!" I'm like,
There's a
"Yo,
lot. There's a lot of black wrestling podcasts out there, men, women, and mixed. It's just beautiful. I love it. Every day you hear of a new one, and the content is good, good stuff, and you can relate, and that's what matters too. It's relatable, so that's what draws me.
oh man." So, what's your 5-year plan for this top roast? I mean, everyone has a 5-year plan. Everyone
Yeah,
has.
absolutely, absolutely. My 5 year, and it's funny because that is the magic number.
Mine's is
That means
25. See, mine's is 25.
I don't got 25. I'm older than you, a lot older than you.
How old are you? I
I don't have
it's
no problem
rude.
telling people.
Yeah, I must say it's rude to ask another lady her age and shit like that. That's not really supposed to be the main
I
thing
don't
you
care
do.
because I don't think I look my age. I'm 39.
So you're probably the same age as Uncle Fat, so you're probably the oldest ones. Because I'm
Yeah,
31.
yeah, youngins. So my 5 year
Hey,
plan,
whoa.
I'm gonna be
Now the
65
number
in
may
5
be
years.
still young, but my mind frame is I'm 45. I
Thank
know
you.
what the hell I want. I know how to fucking get it. It's just now I gotta just develop a way to get it on my own and not have to go to the bank and have to get like no loan money, shit like that. I want everything to be organic from scratch.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Black
my
ownership, damn it.
yeah, my plan is to make this business, because this is a business for me. I have an LLC on this business.
See,
We running this for real here.
yeah, and that's what we're trying to do here. But
Yeah,
like
we
I
could
said,
do it.
ours is just art. I want our shit to be slow and steady because a lot of times, a lot of people, as we say behind the scenes, we have a lot of personal stuff that's going on. A lot of the people have kids and they're married too, just like you
Yes.
are. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is going to take away what I'm bringing here. So I said this when I first started. This lives, breathes, and dies by me. So at the end of the day, I have to be on each and every week to give out content, or otherwise we're falling the fuck behind already as is.
Right. Right.
So,
So
um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
them
I don't want to.
the
Yeah,
LLCs is gonna be a slow progress.
yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. We just, I'm trying to like steamboat ahead because, like I said, I'm almost 40. I want to eventually be a ref. I do. I want to be a ref. I know I'm almost 40, but I know I can do it because I've seen the refs out there. You got old refs, you got, out of shape refs. And I'm like, I'm not that old. I'm small. I think I can do it. So I really would love to do that.
We'll
I would
have an
love to.
Aubrey Edwards in the ring.
Hey. So yeah. So yeah, I want to be a ref, and I know I have to train for it. I know I have to go to school for it. But then the other thing I want to eventually be able to do, the ultimate goal is to make this and I don't want to call it a job because I love doing what I do. I love this podcasting world. I love being in front of a camera. I'm not shy. That's why I go up to people and I'm just like, hey, I do what I do, but I want to be able to give up the 9 to 5. I don't want to work for anyone. And that is my 5-year plan. I want to be my own boss through and through, because we kill ourselves working for other companies and making them rich. We got to put that into our own stuff. If we put all of that effort into our own stuff, I feel like we would definitely be successful. And I think that the point is not to quit. Even if things aren't where you want them to be at a certain point, keep going. Keep going. That's what I think separates the successful podcast from the ones that fail. That they feel like just because things aren't going well in 2-3 years, this isn't going to work. It takes time.
Right.
It takes time, but that's the ultimate goal, to be my own boss, to have this be a product that in California, somebody says Top Rope Squishy, they're like, I know who that is. That is what I want. I want to be known. I want my name out there. And obviously I want to keep helping podcasts of color grow. Like I always tell people, that's why I like bringing people on. I feel like together we go further. So that's the goal. That's the goal.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. That's a big dream. I fucks with it. I said the same thing to myself. Like
YOLO.
Fuck this. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say fuck the 9 to 5 because that's actually be blessing me with different opportunities, but that's what's helping me finance this. I can enhance it so with the big stuff does come in and I don't have to need this other shit anymore. Then I can finally let this shit go. I can be focusing on this, but still got something to occupy my time with. Get physical, because I'm a big guy. You know what I mean? I gotta get physical at least at some point. So I gotta go out and do something. You know what I mean? I can't just be slouched. But I totally get it because the 5-year plan was similar. Similar to yours. Just for me, it's just see how far I can take it. That's why if you look at the whole mob tree, this ain't just for fun. This is actually the hierarchy of if something did happen to me, if I feel like I need like a break. Sabiye is now in charge. He's my underboss. He's the one I've been training under my wing to lead on to the show. And just in case this thing lives the fuck on as a mob, this whole thing is really mafia influence. I'm a huge mafia buff. I'm a huge Sopranos fan. So that's why you always hear me call myself the Black Tony Soprano. Shout out to West Side Gun, not to step on his toes, but I've been saying this for a long ass time. But anyway. But yeah, that's the hierarchy is just that, and just want to see this thing succeed and be like, and now we have people in other states that's rocking OTTR shirts and shit like that. I was like, ooh,
yes, get you some.
It's like it's spreading, bro. I'm like, now if we can really do this shit the right way, I can see everywhere, different shows, OTTR shirts on. And we just be making some announcement like, we'll be in the building, like, all my OTTR fans. Wear your OTTR shirts that night, so we know that y'all rocking with us. You might never know who the fuck might actually come in with a hoodie or with a sweatshirt, regular t-shirt, a fucking maybe when we come out with the snapback soon. I'm hoping to keep my fingers crossed for that. The snapbacks is what I'm dying for. That's why I know like people be like, oh my god, a podcast that did it on wrestling snapbacks, bro, shit is about to be lit as fuck. So I'm trying to conquer the fashion world on top of that too, to be like, you know what? Whatever bigger deal comes into play for that takes me over there. Me being as an artist, I like to look at myself as an overall artist, not just for what I graduated and have a degree for, which I'm blessed for that.
That's
but
beautiful.
There's other ways and there's other art forms that I can try to master and use to my advantage and use it as a skill to better my craft and better my products.
That's beautiful. I'm a college dropout. So when I hear that people have, been to school and completed it, I always say it's beautiful. It's not for everyone, but, it's another reason why I really want to succeed. Because you always have the naysayers that say, oh, you ain't never going to make it.
I get it.
You ain't never going to, so.
But for me, I didn't do 4 years. I did 6 years.
Woo!
Because 2 years I had messed up. So I had to owe them back. You know what I'm saying? So
that's okay.
That's what ended up happening. But I'm still blessed for the time that I was even at my art school. But
beautiful.
Straight away from that, let's dig into some things about some wrestling. So
here we go.
Oh yeah. So what I'm about to ask you. The Raws, NXTs, Dynamites, Impacts, Impact if necessary. SmackDown, and of course Rampage. That's been red hot fire for the last few weeks. What you think about the current wrestling product right now, man? What's on your mind about all these shows and what in the direction that each one's going down and what you like and dislike?
Okay, so I don't know if you ever hear me talk, but I'm always like, watch what you like. I don't care if you don't like a certain product or whatever, because I feel like this is the best time to be a wrestling fan because there's just so many choices.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had the time, legitimately had the time to watch every single wrestling company out there. I wish I had the time to watch SmackDown and Next and Ring of Honor and Impact, Dynamite and Rampage, and Mission Pro. It's like there's so much going on, but the competition is fierce. And I think that that's a good thing because when companies are competitive, they give you better quality product. I know maybe it doesn't sound right for some people, but think about it. Now that you have so many companies out there, everybody's fighting to give you the best. So I feel like right now, no matter what company or companies or wrestlers you're following, because some people don't follow companies, they follow wrestlers, and that's cool because it is about the wrestlers. You're gonna be in for something good. And that's what I feel. I feel like it's just so much good stuff out there. I think anywhere, like if you spin the dial, anywhere where you land, you're gonna find some good wrestling. So watch what you like, y'all. You know me. I'm heavy on the AEW scene.
Fine, I'll shift over to the AEW since you want to be specific. You want to weed out that little response. I'm like, okay, that's not what the hell I asked, but all right. She bluffed me, but all right, whatever. So AEW Dynamite and Rampage, Elevation, Dark. We all know what the hell to find. We all been watching them. I've been watching them. Of course, Layla Gray. If you are the independent people that I'm rocking with, I'm hoping and praying that my big dog, Blanco Bruno, is gonna be in the mix somewhere. He definitely needs to. My fucking guy, he definitely needs to. There's a few people in that locker room that's working their ass off to get that contract. Of course, you're a Sammy Guevara fan, and oh my God, we must as well just get this out the way.
Get it out the way. Ask me what you want because I'm pretty.
God's favorite champion has been dethroned to Sammy Guevara at the last AEW Dynamite show.
As predicted. As predicted. So, you want me to talk on this?
How you feel about this?
No,
Do you think this is the right move for AEW to put the belt on Sammy? And now who? But there's a two-part question. To this that and who would be the next top contenders that will face him?
Okay. So one, I saw this coming. Just to be clear, I saw this coming. No.
Squishadamus.
I don't get them all right, but I got this one right. I saw this coming. However, it was too soon. To me, I wish they would have let Miro get like another few months and have him drop it in a big stage, like Full Gear. And then, yes, to Sammy, because Sammy is part of the future of the company. Who could be his future competitors? I loved Miro, by the way. When Miro dropped Kip Sabian, or where Kip Sabian got injured and Miro went on his own, I was like, now that's fucking Miro that we have been waiting for.
Yes, indeed. I said the same thing. I said about fucking time you let the beast unleash, and now we get what the fuck WWE failed to do.
Yes, it was beautiful, beautiful. His promos were like, I used to stop everything and turn on the TV. Like, I gotta hear what he gotta say. It was always on point.
Nah, and for me, it was every time when his promo came on, I was like, oh wait, nah, I'm fully paying attention because the way the cinematography is for his promos, oh my God, red, brooding, so destructive, but yet it's still within his country colors. So he's still staying true to his identity. So that's dope.
That belt was beautiful. I loved that belt. When they revealed the belt.
Yes. When they revealed that, I was like, oh my God,
I want a replica of that belt. I really do.
Yeah. Now, that's the only belt that I probably would get too.
Yeah, I the TNT belt is actually my favorite belt of all the belts they have. I love the way it's built. The round circular design. I love it. But the first red one was I really like that. But when I saw
I found that one kind of tacky. But
really?
But the black strap one was the black strap one.
The Darby one.
The Darby one, that was my favorite one too.
Yeah, that was cool too. But the when Miro came out with I almost called him Rusev. When Miro came out with the white belt. I know, I almost did it. With the Bulgarian colors, yo. But yeah, so who could face Sammy? So I think for sure Dante Martin's gonna get a shot. Maybe Sean Spears is going to come back and keep that feud going. But ultimately, and I was talking about this with someone on my podcast, and I didn't have this person on my mind, but once they put him in my mind, I was like, that makes so much sense. Scorpio Sky. So, you know, he dropped the promo right after Sammy had just won the belt and he was being interviewed, and he came out with Ethan Page and he was like, yo, you know, like, I've been dissed, like that shit's mine kind of situation. So it's possible that Scorpio will be getting that belt. And I think that's only fair because he's been put up and then down and then up and then down. Like put the fucking belt on him already, you know? So I think so. I agree with William, who was on my podcast. And I think at least Dante and Sean Spears will definitely be two, maybe Adam Cole.
Adam Cole should be way much later though. Let him get that rivalry with Jungle Boy first done. Let them have that program. Let that thing flourish, and then he goes after some gold later when you introduce the trio belts. That would be his coming out party before he goes into singles.
He's my favorite of the newest signees.
Next question would have been the next question. The new additions, you know, the Adam Coles, Bryan Danielson. Question mark Bray Wyatt, you know, say give or take. Rumors have been swirling that it doesn't look like he's going to be there. Well, he probably is going to wait till his 90-day contract, or he just might actually sign with Impact because we all know Braun Strowman is going to be there. So, key question for you is, what do you think about the new additions to the AEW locker room, and do you think that's technically killing the homegrown talent from succeeding to that main event level?
I think that as much as I like AEW, they're going a little crazy with the new, like hiring new talent. Because they're not necessarily new. They're like really big names, and I understand what they're doing. They're trying to get fans that are not with AEW, that are fans of these older wrestlers that have been watching these older wrestlers to come to us. And it's happening. You know, people are coming to AEW, but I think that there have been one or two that maybe weren't needed. And I think that the homegrown talent will be taking a sort of a back seat while these new signees get their shine because people want to see them. But hopefully that won't like kill the locker room vibe. That's what I'm hoping. Like for real, me, I don't know why they hired Malachi Black or Ruby Soho. Kill me.
Whoa. Wait. Okay. That was different. Time out. Because I belong in the House of Black. So I gotta speak up. For him real quick.
No, you're a House of Black guy? God.
Yes, I'm a House of Black guy. You know you know what primary colors are. You know what time it is. You know the vibes.
Oh man.
Hold on. So I gotta speak up for him real quick. On that note, did you not see what the hell that they treated him compared to when he was at NXT to the main roster push?
I never saw him in NXT, so he's new to me.
Okay, so
brand new.
If you were paying attention to when he was at NXT, he was built dangerously so much better. So by the time he got to the main event, the main roster, he could have been anywhere by the top mid card level by this time period and still would have gotten the fuck over. But they fucked up with him and never booked him right, and they didn't book him at all. So he was just sitting at home. Then they tried to do it again, and then all of a sudden, with the massive releases that happened, they happened to release him.
Right.
So that was an open door for him to come here, and then that's when the character that we wanted to see in WWE, we're seeing it now in AEW. So dropping the ball again, yes. Now for Ruby, it's still okay. I mean,
it's okay. But
it's okay. I mean, like, it's not like they try to bring back Hulk Hogan. I'm like, no, you don't need that type of shit. Don't bring back Vince Russo. Don't bring back Eric Bischoff. Don't bring back those guys. Those guys I don't want to see. But when it comes to wrestlers in the current age, okay, fine, and that's cool. But don't make it too much of a habit.
No, they will never bring Hulk Hogan. And if they ever did, that would be the end of me and AEW. Because I can't fuck with Hulk Hogan, period. I can't. He broke my heart, and that was it. That was my favorite wrestler growing up. I used to rip my fucking shirts. And when happened, I was like, had a whole breakdown. I had a whole fucking breakdown. My husband too. We were like, and then we're like, oh my God, you know, you just can't fucking trust nobody. It's what they say, don't meet your fucking heroes. Like, it's terrible. So I just cross them out. I'm burying his ass. I just can't. I just fucking, and let me just say something about Malachi Black before we move on, because I want people to understand something. I love his character. I love his promos. But to me, you have to have three things to be like a good wrestler. I'm not feeling his in-ring style right now. He hasn't done anything for me that makes me go, whoa, this motherfucker got moves.
Okay. This is why I'm going to say this in defense. You have to watch his matches in NXT and PWG. He is the tag team. He's the newly crowned tag team champions along with along with Brody King. They just won him just last weekend. And I watched that match. The difference between WWE style of wrestling and independent style of wrestling is two different styles.
It is.
And this is where we see AEW is giving you that independent semi-style mixed in with their own blend of their formula. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when it comes to Malachi Black, right now I'm getting teasers. Yes.
Okay.
Now imagine you put the right people right in front of him, CM Punk, at a pay-per-view match. Then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I did not expect that from him." Okay, cool. This is what we call a slow build. You don't want to give people that full course meal up front. You want to give them appetizers. You know what I'm saying? The appetizers, the side dish, and shit like that before we even give you the entree. You got things like that.
I have been saying that I don't want to go back and watch what they used to do because
listen.
But you're like the 100th person that says, go back and watch a Malachi Black. So you know what? I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna fucking do it. Fine, I'll break. I'm gonna go back.
If they did at least watch the PWG tag team wrestling match that he just had the previous week. At least that's the latest one that you'll see at an actual full-fledged independent environment, and have the styles are so different from what you're seeing. Well, if you would have saw him in NXT, the WWE, the whole system is different. Trust and believe me.
Okay, and you think I'm gonna become a House of Black fan?
It'll probably take you a few matches, not right the fuck away.
Okay, because I'm a Bebe fan. Look at his face. How do you feel about Adam Cole? Because every time I say something.
Listen, it's a great pickup. It's a great pickup for AEW. WWE fucked up with that one, as I honestly said big time. It's great that he's a fan again now that he can have the fun. He's with his boy, he's with his girl. The whole thing right there is that's his nature calling. That's bound to happen. So I seen that was gonna happen. And then when he came to the last pay-per-view, I was like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like,
it's gonna happen.
This no fucking with it. He's gonna miss this opportunity, and he's already out of there. And plus, on top of that, if you follow WWE, if you about to walk out the door, you're gonna lose on your way out. And when he lost that 2 out of 3 falls match against Colorado at Takeover, I'm like, that's his swan song. He's done, and I'm like, he's out of there. He's out of there. WWE got exactly 1 week to try to re-sign him, or otherwise he's out the door.
1 week.
one exact week, and that was it. And sure enough, when they didn't do it, or when they successfully couldn't do it, I was like, he's there.
That's it.
And that's when he came out. I was like, damn, all right, word.
To be expected.
To be expected, but damn, but was it too soon? And then right afterwards, Bryan Danielson came out, and I was like, okay, that was the one I was expecting. Like, yeah, but
yes.
So next question would be for Wait, how do you think about Rampage? how you feel about Rampage and how you like it being built as be under an hour. You get 3 good solid matches, maybe a couple promos. And of course, you got my man Mark Henry doing instead of doing the whole main event split screen. It's for the main event. That's my favorite shit out of everything out of fucking Rampage. I was like, yo, man, well, I mean, look.
You froze. No, we're frozen.
That's great.
So you've got frozen to me for like a minute.
Yeah, so did you.
Okay, so Rampage. So what do I think about Rampage? So Rampage, I love that Mark Henry was put as part of the team. I was so happy when I found out he was going to be part of the team because I used to watch Mark Henry when I was younger. And as far as the way they built it, I think it's perfect. 1 hour is absolutely perfect, especially at that time frame on a Friday night. You're getting people in, you're giving them 3 hot matches, maybe 2 promos, and they're out. I love it. You know, the 3 matches are usually very well built. They're really usually good. And the promos are not that long and they look like vignettes. So I do like them. I do like what they're doing with Rampage. I absolutely do. And you can tell who more or less they're trying to make like the star, I think, or the stars of Rampage. As far as the females go, we already know we saw her win yesterday. So I really feel like Jade is becoming the face of Rampage for the women's division. I think she's probably going to be the first TBS belt holder. She's kind of green. I mean, you could tell when she was doing her chair shots that she was a little scared. That's a strong woman. So I'm pretty sure she didn't want to kill Thunder, but I love the setup. I do. I think that for it being a new show, they're doing really well. And for it being in that death time slot, it's doing pretty well. 2
more questions. Have you watched the whole the Rose to the Top show that they just came out with?
I did see that first episode. Yes, I did.
Yo, I watched that first episode too, and I sat back and I'm like, we get a full glimpse of how a wrestling promotion is really run, and you know how that dynamic is intertwined with the current product. Then look at the time slot that they recorded. I was like, oh yeah. Now imagine what the fuck happened backstage at this motherfucker. How do you feel about the show right now?
I think that the first show is going to be spicy because they want to draw you in. So they're going to give you a lot of little like tastes of things and not give you the whole pie because they want you to come back for episode 2. I liked it because I do like seeing the back end stuff, and I primarily wanted to watch it not because so much of Cody and Brandy, but because of seeing the other wrestlers in that, you know, in that world. I loved the whole Ricky Starks thing. That broke my heart because I love absolute Ricky Starks. The thing that happened with Jade and Red Velvet though, I didn't like it. Because I feel like we get too much reality TV where 2 sisters are going at each other all the time. And I didn't want to see that. So I looked at my husband and I was like, here we go. I don't want this. Like it felt fake. It didn't feel real. Like, and I don't know if that was because of editing.
That's a real love and hip hop type shit.
Yeah, and I'm not for it. Like I don't watch reality TV. I don't.
Me neither. That's just trash.
I just don't do it. I don't like seeing our people getting, you know, put on TV so they can beat each other up and break each other down. So when I saw that was the only part of it that didn't agree with me. But I will be watching episode 2. I'm gonna give it a chance. Absolutely. What you think? Did you like it?
I mean, hey, it's something to keep me on TNT on Wednesday night, right? So I'm gonna fuck with it. You know, see how it goes. Right. See my man Moxley behind the scenes, like, yo, I'm gonna go throw up and pass out.
Yes.
Like that's my dog right there already. Like, I can't wait for when Eddie Kingston gets in front of that damn camera. And I'm like, yo,
I love Kingston.
So
he's a sweetie. I met him. I love Kingston. Yeah, when I went to the show in New Jersey, he was one of the meet and greets.
Okay.
He's so sweet. He called me Ma. He's like, hey Ma. That's just because he's from New York. So
yeah.
That's
I got you.
So New York.
I got you. We got one of the Bushwhackers that's going to be here October 30th for a show out here for UFO wrestling. So I'm gonna meet him when he comes down here and shit like that. And then yeah,
Yes.
so
Take it back.
we'll be at Halloween Brawl October 30th in my backyard, South Boston. I can't wait to be in my home field out there in the cold in the baseball field with a ring out there.
Like this.
Nah, man, we out here, man. Anyway, last question. Last question is kind of like a serious question. I don't know if you heard the rumor about the whole Tony Khan taking away the creative control from the EVPs. You know, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody. Cody's barely in the office now. I don't know what's going on with that. Kenny's still over here in the AEW games, working on the new games that's coming out, and I can't wait for their first game to come out, and hopefully that changes a lot. And the Young Bucks is still doing stuff over there on the side, with being the elite in another role. How you feel about main question I think was do you think EVPs like them should really have creative control over their wins and characters in other situations?
Hell yeah. Because you got to understand something. The AEW company really was started in the indies by these guys, by the EVPs. And this is really their baby. Tony Khan has been a wrestling fan since he could walk, right? So this is a dream that he had, and he had the pockets to make it happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like when you give creative control to the wrestlers, especially when they're like EVPs and stuff like that, you're giving them some trust, and it makes them better, like with their characters, with their promos and in the ring, because they have this confidence that they built this character, they feel this character, they can relate to this character. That's why you see so many people in AEW, when you ask them like about their character, they tell you that's really part of who they are. Like a lot of them, like, because they have that creative control. And I think taking away creative control from the EVPs, who are really there for the wrestlers because they are wrestlers themselves, would be a bad move. I'm not saying give them all the creative control, because obviously as a businessman, Tony Khan has to have the last say. It makes sense. It's his money, on the line, but he shouldn't. No, I don't agree with it.
I mean, I kind of got to go against it. I mean, no disrespect to the boys, but I felt like, all right, if you give creative control to EVPs, right? Imagine you give creative control to everybody else within that. I mean, it's cool to have some type of creative control over your character, but not the full 100%. Like, I don't want to lose ever, or I don't want to lose this person.
Oh, no.
Whatever. No, you can't.
I can't hear you. Okay.
So I disagree. Control. I feel like you can't give these wrestlers too much, like 100% control. At least when it comes to the characters, okay, give them that to try to come in as themselves, because their gimmick can actually get over with the fans, and that's organic, that's natural. But when it comes to the booking, I feel like you can't give them that, because they're going to be like, well, I don't want to lose here. I'm losing here in my hometown, but you're saying that this, that, and the third. Tony got to have some type of, because he agree with you. He is the booker. At the end of the day, he is the booker. So he's sitting there right now. Who calling the story? Who has to win because of this? How's it going to fit with the fans? Yes. He has to break down that side to try to make sense. So,
and I think that's going on, because Mick Jackson lost yesterday, and he's an EVP. So I think they have their creative control, but I think that when it comes to, like I said, the final say, Tony Khan will say no and yes. Like, I feel like, and that should be in place. You do need somebody at the head, like, but as far as character goes, not 100%, but I feel like having them be very involved with their character development, have say, is important. But yes, who wins, who loses should definitely be up to the boss.
Okay. So I'm about to agree with you saying, like,
that's going to cause problems.
that really is going to cause problems. And then you have another mixed WWE Phil type locker room, like, okay, this person is only there because he's cool with this person, so he might get pushed straight up to the damn top, and then what the fuck about me?
Exactly.
And that's going to be another issue. But last and final question is just, where the hell can we find your content, your stuff, everything? And this is where we call your victory lap. Where it's opens my turn, it's the victory lap. Here
we go. We're running. So I'm Top Rope Squishy across the board on Instagram and on Twitter, Top Rope Squishy. And my YouTube is also Top Rope Squishy. Look it up. I drop predictions on Mondays. I drop Wrestler of the Week on Tuesdays. And on Thursdays at 7:15 p.m. Eastern is my live show. And guess who's my guest next week? Woo-hoo! So you better tune in, people. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to Off the Top Ropes podcast.
You finally got that right.
That's it. I said Off the Ropes. I was like, why did I do that?
Well, you know, folks, you know what that means when I'm at the end of my whip when it comes to my cup. That's the end of the show. I'd like to thank you, Top Rope Squishy, for coming on and blessing my PODCAST here today for OTTR as well. I'm definitely looking forward to showing up Wednesday, you said?
Thursday.
Wednesday or Tuesday?
Thursday,
7 p.m., right?
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
He's gonna be there.
Well, I will be there because you will hound me down, and I'm like, I won't let you down. Anyway, folks, you know where to find her. You know where the hell to find us, and cop the merch, cop some merch, cop the cups, do everything. Follow links, hit that like, share, subscribe button, all that other stuff. Hit bookmarks, play these episodes, man. Get them numbers up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Subscribe.
And until then, ladies and gentlemen, we bid y'all adieu. Oh, a reminder, I will be away this weekend, so Cyber Yeti will be in charge of the next upcoming last weekend wrestling taping. So let's see how that goes. And please don't trash my studio. See ya.
Peace.